Morning, thanks for joining me at A to B Training. Today we're going to be looking at a tail lift and how they operate. The best thing to do is when you turn up at the students' houses to make sure the area that you're going to park on is as flat as possible, and then the rest we'll just show you now. Obviously you open your back doors as far as they go to 90 degrees out, and then you can see we have the tail lift here. Most of our tail lifts, the control boxes, tend to be on the left. Occasionally you'll get the box on the right, but they operate pretty much the same way. On some of these as well, there's an isolation switch, a master control, which turns the power off and on to the tail lift. On most of the vehicles, it's located by the front driver, by the gear stick. It's a small switch we just switch on, which I'm just about to do. At the front here on this vehicle, the isolation switch, which controls the power to the tail lift on the back, is just here. And most of the time when you turn them on, they light up. So now we do have power to the back. Occasionally on these tail lifts, the isolation switch, if it isn't on the front, it could be located on the actual control box itself, or occasionally they can be on the box here on the left, or again it may be the right. Okay, so now off we go for the operation. So most of the tail lifts here have the operation. We have deploy, there's 4 buttons, deploy, and I'll show you where that goes, then down, then up, and then we'll stow the tail lift away when we're finished with it. So obviously when we're going to deploy the lift, make sure obviously you're aware of the space around you and the doors behind, because obviously you don't want this tail lift coming down and catching you. So I'll just stand back, press deploy, bring myself right back, and it automatically stops. At any time when you take your finger off, so if I was to go up with stow, as soon as I take my finger off, it will stop. So there we go, bring it down and it stops. And then we then have the other button which brings it all the way down to the ground level. But what you'll notice here in this position, the bridge plate has been dropped down, and on the backrests are in the locked position. It's only until the bottom touches the floor and then they disengage. So in theory, a wheelchair should not be able to roll off the back, but we don't take any chances with that. There we go. And we're just bringing it down to ground level now, just like so. And once that's happened, we put this just back on here and over to the wheelchair user. Now the wheelchair user we're going to put on to the tail lift at ground level. We bring them onto the back, and then we engage the brakes on both sides. And this is a 2-person team here, so whether you're the driver or the PA and the other way around, so the other person, part of your crew, will be inside. So then what we then do, as none of the tail lifts that we have are long enough to stand on the back while the wheelchair user's on there when we raise them up and bring them down, so we have to stand at the side. The only time you can ever stand on the back on one of these would be if it wasn't a wheelchair user and it was someone who needs to gain access to the back of the vehicle and it's easier for them to stand. So in which case then they would stand at the front here with their hands on the bars, the rails, and then you would stand behind them with your hands on the rails, and then you'd go up and then you go. But otherwise you never stand on the back on these. So then we've got the control box here, and we're now going to go up. What you need to do is put your hand on the back of the wheelchair just to be aware. Obviously we want it to be going up, but we're then aware, should it be sliding forwards or backwards, there's obviously a problem with the brakes. So then just let the wheelchair user know that they're just about to go up. So okay, we're just about to go up, and then put your finger onto the button. It will automatically stop when it gets to its height, and as you can see, the tail lift is at its correct height now. And then we just put the control box back, release the brakes. The other member of your crew will be inside, and as you push them in, they will be around there to receive them. I'll show you. Okay, so the person who's outside is pushing them, and I'm the inside person, and I'm just pulling them into the back of the obviously the tail lift here to put them into position ready to put the wheelchair tie downs on. Now we're at the stage, we're at our destination, we've released the wheelchair tie downs to the wheelchair user, and now we're pushing them to the back of the tail lift like so. the other member of the crew's outside to make sure that obviously they're okay and safe. And then the brakes go on both sides, and then the other one of the crew is then going to operate the tail lift. Now we're just about to let the wheelchair user go down to ground level. Again, we've got the control box in our hand. Put the hand on the back of the wheelchair, just to be aware in case there is any roll or movement on there, apart from obviously the one that we want is going down. And please be careful now of obviously when this goes down to ground level that your feet are not anywhere near the underneath of the tail lift going down. Here we go. Just let them know as well, we're just about to go down. And there we are. And you'll see the bridge plate come up. And there we are, back at ground level. And then we put the box back on its hook. And then we just release the brakes, both sides. Bring them off the back of the tail lift. And then whether you're on your way home or into school, off they go. A couple of other pointers on here. All of our tail lifts have a load capacity of 350 kilograms, which is more than enough for any student with wheelchair as well as all of the tail lifts have sort of 2 MOTs done here called Lolas. So it's vitally important, should anything in between the Lolas you discover there's an issue with the tail lift, please let Fleet know immediately, whether it's making an unusual sound or it's running slow or anything that it doesn't usually do. Okay, thanks a lot.